Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. We were doing inequality stuff, weren't we? Right, we got some 6s around. We might be able to do this. Max of 4, size separation, inequality. So, smaller to bigger. So these are going around this way. This is going small to big, small to big. That's going around that way. And this one is going all the way around like that. And this one is doing the same. What does that tell us? I don't know. I've got no headphones in because there's a package arriving and I want to hear the door. But now I'm hearing my own voice. Like, I don't have a problem hearing my own voice. It just sounds different when I'm not wearing headphones, and my brain doesn't know how to deal with this. Maximum 4. All right, well, I don't think any of these notes are specifically helping. I was wondering if there was going to be one where it went in a full circle, but I guess that couldn't happen, could it? All right, let's start up here then. And we're going to start with an x. And this is x plus 1. And this is also x plus 1. And this is x plus 2. And therefore, the longer path to get to here is x plus 3. So x goes bigger, goes bigger, goes bigger. And with that in place, we know that we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 where all regions have an area of at most 4. So this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's going to be the same for another one of these that had the same. 2 of them were in pairs, and then this one is going to be the 4, the 3, the 2, and the 1. Okay. Neighboring regions must have different areas. Well, the 4 has to get out. And then these ones are less simple. Oh, I biffed this. How did I biff this? This is the 1. Hold on. This is x. This is x plus 1. This is x plus 2. This is x plus 1. Okay, that's different. Why did I think they were the same? Have I screwed both of them? I thought these two were effectively the same. We've got the smallest going bigger and biggest, smallest going bigger and biggest. No, this is one of these. Now I'm getting myself real confused. Small, bigger, biggest. Small, bigger, biggest. Small, bigger, biggest. Small, bigger, biggest. And then here, small, bigger, biggest. Small, bigger, biggest. But this one was small, bigger, bigger, bigger. Okay. Then my initial assessment of these was indeed incorrect. So we have small, medium, large, small, medium, large, and small, mediums, and larges. But this is how it's got to be. but what can I learn from that is a fantastic question. Size separation inequality max 4. Okay, well, this large has to get out, and a large is a 3 or a 4. So we have 1, 2 is small, 2, 3 is medium, 3, 4 is large. So that has to get out. It can't pass this line, but it could be a 3. But it couldn't be, because that would mean that 2 would have to get out to there. That would be a 1. That doesn't work. So this has to leave. This cell can't ever be taken. Now, who takes this from this or this? We don't know. But that means that has to go to at least there. And that means this 2 can't leave another 1 there. And this can't be another 3. Therefore, I think that must be a 4. That has to get out. That could be a 2, and this could get out for a 3. They can't both be 2s, that's for sure. In fact, this 2 has to get out either this way or this way. And because of size separation, that means this has to be a 3. You know, that one's a 4. So the 2 has to get out, and the 2 can't get out that way, blocking in the 3. So that's a 2. 3 has to get out, can't go to there, has to go to there. This 3 can't go down to there, has to go over to here. That has to go to there. That's a 1. Then, if this is a 1 or a 2, this is a 2 or a 3. This is a 3 or a 4. Well, so far I'm pretty happy. If this is a large, as a 3 or a 4, it has to get out. That means that's a 1. This still has to get out. This is a 1. This can't be a 3 next to a 3. Could go 4, 3, 1. That would be viable. This is a medium. Medium's a 2 or a 3. Has to get down. So then, what next? Can we lock this in? We can't do that because this can't be a 2. So that's a line. This can't be a 3 next to that 3. So I think it has to be that. And then that would have to be a 3 and a 1 so that we don't have 2 2s. And I think that's that all sorted, which is lovely. So that's a 4, which means this could be a 2 or a 3. That can also be a 2 or a 3. If there was a 3, obviously we'd have 2s. This has to be a medium, so it's joining that. Where can we go now? Small to medium, small to medium. This can't be 4. It's 3. This then has to be bigger than whatever this is, but that seems vague at best. This is a 2-3, this is a 2-3, this is a 1-2. These mediums could be the same if that was a 2 and that was a 1. And that's a 1. That would have to be a 3. But that would then make that a 3, and we have to go bigger than this corner. So that's all not great. This making larger into here, then making larger into there is interesting, because it doesn't mean that this and this have to be part of a group together, but I need something else. That was a 3. That could be a 1. If this is a 2, that has to be a 1, because it can't be another 2. That could be a 2. That could be a 3. That could be a 4. That could be a 2. 1. 1. No, not quite. Not quite. I can't have these be 2 2s next to each other. But you're as small as a 1 2. You can't be a 3. What am I missing? This has to be medium, which is a 2 or a 3. This is a 2 3. This is a 3. Therefore, this must be a 2. Because this is the 3, right? I think that's good. So that means that's a 1. Because it has to be smaller than the 2. That means this can't be a 1. It has to be at least a 2. Can't be a 4 because it can't go through the mediums. And we can't have... I mean, that could be a 3, that could be a 2. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. That has to be a 2 because it's touching a 3 and a 3. Can't be a 4. Okay. 1 and a 2. That means this has to be 3. This has to be a 4. This 4 can't take this cell because this has to be a 3, a 2, 3, or a 4 against a 1, a 2, or a 3. Could be that. Except this can't be 2 2s next to each other there. Okay. 1, 4. Is this going to work out? Is this different than what I just failed with? I don't remember. There it is. That's not a bad one for a 6. Especially because there's like 4s that I can't do out there. We looked at one of these 7s previously. This guy was just No progress being made there anytime soon. Mismatch. All regions must have different shapes. Inequality. The tip points towards area number. So we know that we have the 2 3s are accounted for here. Because we have this 3 and this 3. The 4s and 5s are much more ambiguous. But we also need to know that this has to be a 1 2. This has to be a 6 plus. This has to be a 1 2. And the 1 2, one of them is a 1 and the other one is the 2. This is 5 plus. And that's about what we know. Well, the 1s and 2s are both accounted for. So this has to be a 3 plus. This has to be a 4 plus. So that's a line that's going up. This is coming out. And then this 5 has to get out of there. So that's the 1, I hope. Which means this is the 2. That 3 has to go to there. This 4 has to go up, which means that is the straight 3. Which means that is the hooked 3. Again, I hope. No idea which way around the 2 is going, except I do know it's not going that way, because the 2 can't be bigger than another 1, because we can only have 1 1. The 5 has to get out. And then what? That's a fantastic question. Well, that's going to there at least. This can't be a 3, because we already have the long straight 3. And we already know that we can't ever have a 3. So this is a 4 plus, and this is a 5 plus. So that can go to there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes to there. That could be our straight 4 and our straight 5. That goes to a 5 and a 6. I mean, it could, hypothetically. The 2 is simply ambiguous on whether it does this or this. Got to be one of them. If it does this, that's quite nice because it pens that 4 into being that. But I should be so lucky. This 5 can either do this or this. And those are the only options. In either case, whether it's this or this 4 needs to take this tile. It could do all of that, but it must take this one, and then it's kind of ambiguous which way it goes and whether it does this or not. It's the most ambiguous 4. If the 2 goes this way, this would have to go 1. Let me get off red here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which would mean this would have to be a 7, which it can't be. So I believe the 2 goes that way. Which means this 6 now has room to exist over here in some capacity that we'll get to. What else do we know? This almost certainly can't go to there. because then this would have to go and be 6, and that would have to be 7. That's not happening. So the 4 is taking that one, at least. And then it's just ambiguous on this. This has to be 5 plus, probably the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would mean that would have to be a 7. It can't be. We could do it that way as a 6, a 4 and a 5. Then, oh, we can't have a 1. Of course we can't. We can't have a 2, we can't have a 3, we can't have a 4. So that's all out. One, 2, 3, 4. How am I ever going to get this to be true? I would need this. If this... Hold on. This can't be a 1. It can't be a 2. It can't be a 3. So this would have to be at least 4 to 5 plus. But we can't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then this would have to be 4 going up there pins the 5. That's no good. And suddenly, none of this feels great. I can't see any way out of what we've got. I'm just going to bring these back a second. The 1... How far back can I realistically go here without just resetting it all? The 3 had to have a 2 or a 1. That 3 had to have a 2 or a 1. If this was the 2, it would have to go to the right, which traps the 5, or down, which traps the corner. So this is the 1, this is the 2. Yes. Then this has to be... Alright, well, we're this far back now, but I've got a different thing I want to start marking down as we go. This was at least that much going up. Can't be a 3. The 5 has to get out. You go there, you go there. You can't do that and be bigger than the 5. You're the 3. Check mark. This 3 has to do that because it can't go to the left. Check mark. Now we have to remember 1s, 2s, and 3s are all not allowed anymore. So, this is 4 plus, this is 5 plus. This is 5, this is 6 plus. This is 4 plus, this is 5 plus. This is 4 plus, this is 5 plus. This is 4 plus, this is 5 plus. That's 4 plus 5 plus, this is 4 plus 5 plus. Now, I'm wondering if that can ever happen. Because that's the kind of thing that it would throw in. To be like, oh, we actually had one giant zone all along. This 5 has to go to here. And then we know that that's ambiguous. That has to go to there. This has to do this. Okay. This 4. Hold on. Hold on. Marking up everything gave us new insight. This 4 can't go to here because we can't have a 3 that's smaller than it. So I think that has to be the 4. Okay, we definitely didn't have that last time. So that's the 5. That's the 4. So this is a 5 plus. This is a 5 plus. This has to get out. How can this be? If that goes to there to be 6. 4, 4, 4, 4. Can't do that, trapping the 5s. Four, 5, 4, 5. That's really unpleasant. Because up to this, it all works quite nicely. And then it goes, actually, this wants to be part of 5 plus. This wants to be part of 5 plus. This needs to be part of 6 plus. But how are we getting this 5 out? Oh, could it be? No, because you have to be bigger. I can't have these two and those be true all at once. The 2, we already figured out that it can't go down because then this can't exist like this. So that's going left. I do believe. That's 5. 4 has to get out. I think that has to be the 4 because it can't go to anywhere else. So that's a 5. That's a 5, but I hate it. Because how am I putting a 4 in anywhere here? 1, 2, 3, 3. I just don't see it. We've had so many steps that made sense, but it's this 4 here that I just can't make any sense of at all. Because we have the 1, we have the 2, we have both the 3s. But this has got to be bigger than 5. So this 6 makes no sense to me at all. And like, I've already reworked the problem the whole way through twice. Got this 4, presumably that 4. Like, that works really nicely as well. I just don't see where else this 3 could possibly go, or anything else. Oh, I hate it so much. Again, this would be where I would use the check progress button, but the rest of it looks so good. It's just these two tiles that my brain does not comprehend in the slightest. I just can't do it any other way. What we've got seems so good. How did these two tiles ever exist? Like, that's fine. That's fine. I just feel like I'm one tile short somewhere. But I can't steal a tile from anywhere. What can I do differently? Somewhere. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And I'm torn between resetting the whole thing and doing the whole thing again, using the check progress button, or giving up in some semblance. And I know you hate me, and you can click off the video if you want, or you can skip to the end. But I'm doing this because there's got to be something I'm screwing up here in the middle. There's got to be. So, this is one of our 1-2s. This is the other one of the 1-2s. Mismatch means we can't have both. If this is a 2, traps in the 5. If this is a 2, it traps in a 1, means that can't be a 1 at the same time. It means this is the 1, and this is the 2. We've got that much. Then that 3 has to come out to there. This has to be 6 plus because of the 5. This has to be 5 plus because of the 4. This can't be a 1 because the 1 is accounted for. Can't be a 2 because the 2 is accounted for. Can't be a 3 because the 2 3s are accounted for. So it must be... Can't do that and trap in the 5 unless... Could it ever do that? Ooh, hoo, 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 blowing the whole thing wide open. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. 1 2 3 4 5 a bajillion. Let's just see if this works out. There's the 4. There's the 5. There's the 3. There's a different 5. Can I do anything with this now? 1 2. We got both 3s accounted for. That can't be a 4 and have a 3 or 2 or a 1 here. Ah, I thought we were going to have something there. Damn. Alright, well, let's not give up on this notion yet. Because I was saying that 5 has to get out, wasn't I? But I think it could do this. Can the 6 do that then? I feel like those are just too neat and tidy for what they are. One, two, three, three. There's no way this could be a 7. Because the 5 can't be bigger than the 7. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Because it has to be bigger than the 5. Is there a bunch of 4-5 pattern that I could make work around here somehow? Let's assume that's a 5. I can't do a 4 here. I just can't. Right, well. Somebody else is home now, so I can put my headphones back on and get in my thinking zone. Oh, that's so much better. How can this be? Like, this looks so perfect. This 5 just has a lot of ambiguity. I appreciate that. It's like this was a seemingly viable version. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm so mad there's something I'm missing. All right, let's... Settings. Right, so... Get rid of those, because I'm not certain on those. Things I feel like I'm certain on is... This, for a start, is all fine. Had to be fine. That has to come out to there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't be a 3. We don't know if it goes to this 5 or not. That's going to at least there. That traps in the 4. That puts that 5 there. This is bigger than a 4. Has to take that 5. Is going to be that. Then what? Where does the 6 go? Hold on. Hold on. I didn't need to check progress after all. Well, I'm so glad we got there. This 6 really threw me for a loop. I'm glad we figured out this 5 option eventually. The 6, I just didn't curve it around that way. Alright, we got there. I'm sorry it was a slog. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Power of headphones, huh?